What's up, guys? Good evening and welcome to Roma Theory. Our Coppa Italia journey begins tomorrow. I think naming the first video of our Coppa Italia journey every season, Don't Snub It, is the most long-lasting tradition of this channel. Every year, the first video of the Coppa Italia, I put the same exact title. Is there a reason for it? Well, yeah, there is, because it's been about 10 years that we've been snubbing this tournament, and I think it's time, despite not having the team for it, and this is something that we will touch on today, I think the time has come that we treat this properly. I always say, I say this every year, and it's been 10 years that we snub it, so I'm not expecting anything else than another average Roma Coppa Italia season. But look, the Coppa Italia has got a lot of structural problems. We've always mentioned this, but it's not an excuse to snub it every time. It's 5 games. It's 5 games only, and a potential final would be at home. So if you ask me, Simo, would you rather go all in the league and the Europa League and kind of get out and ignore the Coppa Italia? Then I say to you, I agree. The Europa League and the League are for sure the most important tournaments out of the 3. But it's 5 games with a potential final at home. I mean, structurally, it doesn't get easier than this. Of course, then if you qualify tomorrow, you need to face Inter at San Siro. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's 5 games. It's 5 games. Round of 16, quarter-final, semi-final at home, semi-final away, first leg, second leg, and final. So, no, I will never accept us snubbing a tournament that only requires a bit more concentration, a bit more effort, and of course a bit more fatigue. But as I just said, it's 5 games only with a potential final at home. So, but look, one step at a time. There's no need to look at our journey. We've got Torino in the first round tomorrow. I mean, it's not the first round because the big teams never play the first round. That's the bad thing about the Coppa Italia, is that if you're a big team, you're guaranteed a place in the round of 16. And that's the big difference between the Coppa Italia and the FA Cup. You know, in the FA Cup this weekend, I was reading the news, and one of the biggest headlines of one of the biggest newspapers in Italy was about how Macclesfield Town eliminated Crystal Palace. And Macclesfield Town belongs to like the 6th division of English football. You know, the domestic cups are also nice for these things, due to the fact that if you're a big team, you're guaranteed a kind of a place in the round of 16. I find that that's the big problem, because the same teams then end up winning this tournament. Apart from last year, I think last year we had a bit of a surprise with Bologna. But again, Bologna demonstrated to you that you can go on a good run and it can save you the season. I'm not saying that, I'm not delusional to say that the Coppa Italia is the primary objective, but a team that doesn't win much shouldn't snub tournaments. That's my point. And we're exactly that. We're in no position, or history has no position to go, oh, well, I want to win this, but I don't want to win this, because we never really win. So any tournament is a tournament to treat well. And let's see how it goes. But I'm having said this, I must be honest with you, I can see a massive upset tomorrow. I can see it for various reasons that we will get onto in this video. The predicted 11 is there. We're going to go through it in a second. There have been transfer updates today, so I promise that I will touch on them. In fact, let's do the transfer recap that Fabrizio Romano posted. Let's talk about this first, and then we'll speak about the game. Now, the transfer updates basically are 3 things. Number 1, that we're very, very close in agreeing a deal with Olympique Marseille for Robinho Vaz, 18-year-old French from Olympique Marseille. I will never say no to these signings. I will never say no to these signings, because these are the signings that ultimately project your future. 18 years old, younger than me, fast player, agile player. I don't know much of him. His name is fun because we can go from Nico Pass to Robinho Vaz. No, jokes aside. But I'm intrigued by these names. You know, there will never be a scenario where I go, no, don't sign these players. Number one, because I don't know much about them. So whether you say that he's phenomenal or whether you say that he is terrible, I don't believe you, because you don't even know about much about him unless you're an Olympique Marseille fan or somebody who watches the French league week in and week out. The fact that a lot of teams were interested in him is promising to me. The other name is Daniel Malen. Apparently, it's another very, 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 very close deal. I posted a TikTok earlier, and I'm going to say the same exact thing. I like the player. I like the characteristics of the player. He's definitely versatile, plays in a lot of positions up front. I see him as a very similar player to Lookman. I always refer back to that because that's one of the positions that we need to cover. I like him. He's experienced because he played in, for instance, a Champions League final a few years ago at Wembley against Real Madrid. He this season has scored goals, has provided assists, has been decisive for Aston Villa. So he's a good player. The only thing or two, I don't like negotiating with Aston Villa because it feels like every time you negotiate with Aston Villa, you're the loser and they're the winner. So of course, according to the law of big numbers, the day will come that we are the winners of a deal. But that such thing has never happened before. So especially what happened with Bailey this summer and the scam that they managed to throw at us with Bailey. I'm always a bit, okay, we're sitting down with somebody who has scammed us in the past. And you're like, okay, it's different players. I understand it's completely different players with completely different injury reports. But it's like you go to a shop, you've been scammed by that shop, and then 6 months later you need something and you go back to that shop. I mean, you're either an idiot or then you're there to seek revenge. Hopefully it's number two. And the other thing is, I mean, Aston Villa are having an incredible season. Weeks ago they were in a title race. I don't think they'll win it, but they're going to get Champions League football because the quality of the Prem this season is low, and I think Villa have been great. Unai Emery wants to win that Europa League, just like we want to win it. And in the weekend, they've knocked Spurs out of the FA Cup. So you're telling me that Unai Emery is playing every competition, is still in every competition, and he is willing to give one of his best players who has decided games this season for them on loan? I mean, it doesn't make sense. There's either something that we don't know, or why would they do it? You see, you get my point. But the player I like, I'm just a bit skeptical with some details. And then the last thing is Raspadori. Please move on, because just please move on, because I don't like us being so desperate about a player. Apparently he wants to move back to Napoli. How idiotic you can be to ask to leave Napoli in the summer because you're not playing much, and then 6 months later want to go back there. I mean, you're an idiot to me, so I don't want you to stay away from me. But of course, I will keep on saying this. My big dream is Joshua Zirkzee. I'm in love with that player, and I think he will change a lot. But if Malin comes, and Vaz, I don't think Zirkzee will come. Okay, let's focus on the game, because this is what we're here to do. Where do we start? Number one, do you expect rotations tomorrow? Because you see, our team is so restricted. We've got no strikers. I don't think Dybala has another game in his legs. I think Dybala is about 20 minutes away from an injury if he starts this game. That's the reason why he's not in my predicted 11. You've got no Dovbyk. You've got no Ferguson. You've got no Pellegrini. I wouldn't start Dybala tomorrow because I think an injury is behind the corner. You don't have Baldanzi. Mancini is suspended because of last season he got a red card in the Coppa Italia, I think. You know, you're missing a lot of players and you've got nobody on the bench because your squad depth is very restricted. So you either rotate by starting your under 21s or you can't rotate because you've got no players to rotate with, which is why I think there's going to be a mix of both. I listened to Gasperini's interview. short interview. It wasn't even a press conference. It was simply an interview. And I don't think he's going to snub this. At least his intention will be not to snub this. He said how important it is to play the final at home, and how it's an advantage that this team needs to take. I've said it many times, this manager is not a manager who snubs things. You know, we've gone through Jose. I think Jose was the exact prototype manager that would have snubbed tomorrow's game, being in a top 4 position like we are today, and with the chance of going far in the Europa League. A manager like Mourinho would have started the under-18s in tomorrow's game. I don't think Gasperini will do that. I think Gasperini wants to go far in this tournament as well. Now, this is where I bring you at the beginning. Do we have the team to go far in 3 competitions? No. I would argue that you're going to struggle with even 2 competitions, let alone 3. You do not. It is clear that you don't have the team for 3 competitions. And I completely agree with everyone who says, I don't care about this game, snub it. We don't have the team to go far in 3 competitions. I completely agree. I think, as I've said in every video, the fact that we're 4th, Juventus play tonight, yes. But if they do win, it's same points as us. The fact that we're 4th with this team is a miracle by itself. Adding on to that, you, the manager, the team, and the fan base want to go far in the Europa League. So you have to take that in consideration. If you want to go far in the Coppa Italia as well, you're slowly stabbing yourself in a sense that, yes, it's just 5 games, and that's where the paradox is. We don't have the team, but it's just 5 games. We don't have the squad depth, but it's just 5 games. Trust me, if you don't improve your squad depth, you do not want around April and May, March, April and May, where you're in the knockouts of the Europa League, where you're going to be in the last chance to get that top 4 position. The last thing you want to do, if you don't have a squad, is play Coppa Italia games. Unless it's a semi-final, of course, and unless it's a final. But we've experienced this. We know it. We know it because we've struggled with 2 competitions. How many times with Jose did it cost us not getting top 4 because we wanted to go far in Europe? Now, again, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think going far in Europe is always very important. I myself, you know me very well, I put European stages and European games even as a higher level than league games. So, you know how much you will have to accept a coin flip if you want to go far in all competitions. That's exactly what you will have to do, because this team can't compete in 3 competitions. So if you do around March, April and May still or around the 3 competitions, you will have to toss a coin. You will have to toss a coin because players are going to be knackered. You're going to play every 3 games in a very crucial part of the season. So it has its drawbacks. But as I said before, I will never accept that a team snubs a tournament, especially a team like us who haven't won much. And because, as I said at the beginning, yes, I agree with everything, but it's just 5 games. It's just 5 games. And if we wake up in this transfer window and sign players, then the situation changes. If you sign 4 players, which you won't do, because there is no brink of me that believes that you're going to sign 4 players. But if you do sign 4 players, even 3 players, the situation changes because you will allow for more rotation and squad depth. So the transfer window, again, proves to be very important when making decisions. This team, without reinforcements, which won't be the case because we will add players, but to take this example, this team, can't even go far in 1 competition, let alone 3. So, but having said this, I do agree. I think the ranking of priorities is League, Europa League, and then Coppa Italia. You can argue the first 2 can be flipped, but the third is the Coppa Italia. I agree. If we get thrown out tomorrow, I'll be pissed, but I'll be pissed because I'll be pissed, because no one can't be pissed if we get eliminated tomorrow. But it's, I mean, I can, part of me will a bit understand it. But no, I want to win and I want to try and go far. Also, I'll say, I think facing a team like Torino in the first round is never good, because Torino won't get relegated and Torino won't get Europe. Torino know already the 12th of January where they're going to be at the end of the season. They're going to be around that 12th, 13th position. So they already know that there's no risk of going down and there's no possibility of going in Europe. So they're going to treat the Coppa Italia well, and they're going to treat the Coppa Italia without much turnover. So I expect a almost complete Torino side. And remember, Torino did beat us this season at home back in September or October, whenever it was. September, I think. But my predicted 11 is this. Mancini is suspended. So Ghilardi, I've put Ndika. I'm not sure whether he will start, but I mean, he's not coming from an injury. He's just coming from a jet lag, if there even is a jet lag. So I mean, I understand that he came back from Ivory Coast a few days ago, but there's no reason why he can't start this game. He wasn't injured. He's just coming off from a plane. So I can see Ndika start and get back in that lineup. Hermoso next to him. In the middle, Celik and Wesley. With Kone and Pisilli in the middle. Oh no, sorry, I've completely missed Cristante out. I don't know why I haven't put Cristante. I can see Kone rest. and Cristante and Pisilli start. I can definitely see. In fact, I think it will happen. I completely forgot about Cristante. I apologize. But I think, imagine Cristante next to Pisilli. I think Kone will get a rest. And then up front, Paolo needs a rest. I've said it already. If Dybala starts this game, he's going to get injured. Dybala is 30 minutes away from a new injury. So rest him for this game, because he's coming from 2 consecutive 90 minutes. Probably 3 consecutive 90 minutes, because he played 90 minutes against Genoa as well. So, and against Atalanta. Are you telling me Dybala is coming from 4 consecutive 90 minutes? Yeah. No. Definitely rest Dybala. Mati and Elsha and Romano up front. Because Dovbik's out and Ferguson is out. We've signed no one. And Dybala not starting implies that you can't start with a full line. So Romano needs to start as a striker. And I want to see him. I want to try and test him. So I'm happy with this lineup. A mix of core players and turnover. And what happens if we end on a draw tomorrow? Is it extra time or is it straight penalties? What is it? I don't know, but we'll see tomorrow. Okay, let me read a few comments. I guess the hopes for Xerxes are fading. The team is now, the way the team is now, they're playing close to their ceiling. Can't expect much more than clinging to 5th place. I normally agree with you, but we have no squad depth. We have to rotate the squad tomorrow, and there is a nobody on the bench. Ciao bro, come stai? Any transfer gossip who Roma's being linked with? Malen, Vaz. I still put Xerxes. I wouldn't call the Xerxes deal collapsed. I would probably call it improbable, but apparently he's pushing very much, and if a player pushes that cord, it will eventually rip. So I can see a last minute opening up from Man United. Non possiamo permetterci di snobbare nessun torneo. Un trofeo è sempre meglio di nulla. Vela, we're signing a striker. It says Messi. Gasperini is an awesome coach. Or are we even gonna leave Gaspadori? Leave Raspadori alone. I don't want that guy anymore. I wasn't aware that he wanted to go to Napoli. I thought he wanted to stay at Atletico Madrid. Apparently he wants to go back to Napoli. Fuck that twat. Who do you think you are? Rotting at Atletico Madrid's bench and thinking that you're going to get back in that Napoli squad and start. You're fucking delusional, you twat. Romano non è un centrocampista, forse Arena in attacco. Dici? Non è entrato questo weekend in attacco lui. Spero di non essermi sbagliato, però me lo ricordo in attacco. Boh, vabbè, se ne va a vedere. Yeah, that's what I think. Don't snub it. Despite all the limits, despite all the problems, treat it well. 5 marathons. 5 marathons. 5. No. 2 sprints and 3 marathons. With a potential final at home. That's the thing. And we won that 10th Coppa Italia. We're the second team in Italy with the most Coppa Italia wins. We've got 9. We're missing la decima, like Real Madrid would call it. Anyways, I'm going to end it here. I'll catch you tomorrow with a match reaction. I'm not going to the stadium. By the way, I'm sorry if in this last period there has been a bit of a decline in stadium vlogs. I'm sorry. I apologize. I just feel like with stadium vlogs nowadays, I either want to do a very good video in a very good game, heated game, significant game, or just not do the stadium vlog at all. Because I'll be honest with you, I've reached the point where I hate filming a stadium vlog if it's like Roma against Sassuolo, or Roma against Cagliari, or Roma against Empoli, or Roma against Parma. For those games, I'd rather just go and enjoy the game. When the game is big, when the game is heated, we've got Milan in a few weeks. I'm telling you, I'm going to get a life ban from the stadium in that game. I'm going to insult Salomekers. I'm probably going to throw him a beer. I'm going to get a life ban in that game. So yeah, I mean, I've decided that for stadium vlogs, when the game is a big game, a heated game, a significant game, there's going to be one, absolutely. But I just also want to like up the quality of them. So, you know, less stadium vlogs, but better ones and the best ones in terms of the game. I'm not going tomorrow because I don't have a ticket. My season ticket actually doesn't have the Coppa Italia included, and I don't want to spend $50 for tomorrow's game with the risk of being another Roma Cremonese 2.0, frankly speaking. So we'll do a match reaction tomorrow. Also, I go to, I think their channel is The Watford Way, and enjoy their last 5-minute video. They brought me on to speak about Bove, like a short 5-minute video, kind of introducing Bove to Watford fans. And make sure to go leave a like on that video and comment down below that you're coming from Roma Theory and Forza Edo Bove. Okay, I'm gonna catch you tomorrow. See you out.